Hello guys, my name is JP. Welcome back to Minecraft. Today, I'm gonna get started on something probably bigger than my usual fare as far as building anything ever. Put 2 in each. One up there. Doesn't seem right. Okay, this one didn't get second. Oh, that was weird. Thought I was freaking out for a second. I could have sworn I just clicked 2. Whatever. Checking real quick. It looks like it's... yeah, okay. I wasn't the last one to use the microphone, and I just realized I didn't know whether or not it was muted, which would have sucked. So today, I'm going to start building a baseball stadium here in the game, probably in this direction. Right now I need to go look for an area. I'm going to grab something that I can mark with. Probably obsidian. If I can find it. Where's with the obsidian? I know I had a bunch of it. I'll use this stuff. No, I had more obsidian. We'll check this way first. This gate got blown up. A creeper was like right here, and I jumped down, and I hit it a couple times, and it should have been dead. I don't know what happened, but it blew up instead, and it took the gate. It's fine now. Yeah, this spot isn't terrible. I might build it here. In this direction, the only other way I'd have any room is to go quite some distance or have to clear a lot of trees. I don't want to have to clear out all the trees to do it. Sure, that dog is fine. Oh, there's plenty of room in this direction too. Although I'm not sure. Because over in this direction there's a lot more, the terrain is a bit uneven. And there's a lot of mines under it. Which might cause problems. Come on. Come on. Ooh, come on. Come on, guy. Hey, don't hit and run. Come on. Fight me. Fight me. There we go. What these teleport around like that? There's a lot of mines, a lot of pools like this. It would take a lot of effort just to even out the terrain enough to be able to use it. Same thing for this direction, although I think beyond that little, or about where that tree is, it might be okay. Let me check over there. Just sounds like somebody using mouthwash. Some more mines, caves and stuff. Oh wait, I didn't even see it there. A lot of them are having armor now, so I guess the game is adjusting its difficulty based on how long we've been in one spot. It does do that. I could use over here, but this is kind of a smaller area. Because I'd really only be able to use from like that tree to here. There. And I don't really know how big it's going to be yet. And I don't want to end up stuck, limited. Just not able to do what I want because I run out of space or something. So that side of the town might work pretty well. The other alternative is on the other side of the mountain, the one with the tunnel. And that might make the most sense. It's out of the way, so it's not going to be... Because the baseball stadium itself, because it's not just going to be like a baseball field, not like a kiddie baseball field in a park or something. It's not going to be just a little field and that's it. It's going to be probably as big as, if not bigger than, the village. I'm trying to go very far so I can actually get this stuff smelted. Although, this probably isn't going to get very far, if at all, today. Like I said, I'm mostly just looking, so plenty of time off camera to smelt what I need and such. So let me check over here. Because right on the other side of this, there's a lot of open areas. But I don't remember how the terrain is. Whether or not it's any better than that west side of the village. Because we're going east right now. Yeah, see, my initial thought is no. It's not that bad, but there are, just like over there, there's a lot of caves. They're very big caves, they're not little, but like this loops around and goes down, and I had to dig my way out and actually I came out in the temple chunk. Yeah, and then this is a hill, so this whole area is kind of useless. There's a bit more over here where the other temple is. Temple, I don't know what they're called. Temples, monuments, whatever. Yeah, the water thing. Yeah, there's more over here on this side. This might work. I can work in a small space if it looks good, honestly. And this kind of looks. Oh, you can see the. You can see the nether portal here. This wouldn't look terrible because it'd be surrounded by the water and the cliffs. This side here. This might work too. So I could build all the way from this. Basically, I can just level this out pretty easily. This all the way up to here. If I had this flat here, it would work, but I don't want to mess with the water. So I'd only have it here. Going all the way down. What is this? Hey! Don't throw that shit at me. I have a lot of these things now. I've had a lot of these things now. I've combined them all into one and made one working one. I have a Riptide, because I wanted to see what it did. Now there's this area here. It would be from the hill to the hill there. I don't want it up against that temple, although I don't like those things. Creep me out. This area here, in general, looks pretty good, honestly. big, it's open, it's flat, fairly flat. I mean, no more than a variance of a few blocks. And I haven't come across any massive holes in the ground like the other places. This might do. There's a little bit of water, but it's not. One water is tolerable for. Okay. I'd be able to go all the way out to here. So then here it's going to be this anyway. Coming to see what this light is. Just a torch or lava? Oh, it's lava. So this is a pretty good prospect. I guess the real question is, do I want it close to the village or do I want it purposely far away? And if it was closer, it makes it easier to build because I can access the building materials quite easily. But I also don't know about putting something bigger than the village right next to the village. So I might go with the village spot. Just for the sake of ease in building it. I do have an idea to do two baseball parks, so I can still use the second area for something else. But I think I'll do the first one close to home. Makes it nice and easy. So yeah, that'll be the first one. So my talking point for today. Oh, I never finished this? God damn it, that's... Oh, gotta fix that. I'll do that later. My sort of talking point for today is that... stealing this from the Sarah Silverman episode of Armchair Expert that I was listening to earlier, is like how to handle racism and not so much just racism, but being, I don't even want to say bullied or picked on, because that kind of belittles what the situation can be sometimes. I also don't want to say terrorized, that's overblowing it a bit. Just being treated poorly based on skin color, race, religion, anything. Anything along those lines. And they had, of course they had stuff to say about it, because Sarah Silverman being Jewish and small and so on, she had things to say on the side of having received these things, and Dax Shepard being just a really normal, standard white guy, had quite a bit to say about having been on the other end of it, where he will openly admit, before anybody says anything, that he has made poor choices in the past, done jokes in poor taste, and debating whether or not to put that in there. And just like he knows he's done wrong and is working to not be that way anymore, which is, you don't see that in a lot of people. But what they started going on about is what causes these things and what can be done to correct them. And it's not so much because I bring this up because recently, very recently, in the news, a bunch of white guys from a Catholic school went to an anti-abortion rally in Washington, D.C., and it crossed paths. Well, after it dispersed, they crossed paths with a indigenous peoples march that was also going on in Washington, D.C., in roughly the same area. And for whatever reason, they started chanting, build that wall, at a Native American. An old Native American man who, Vietnam veteran, I mean, he's been through some shit, and they decided to start chanting this and basically terrorizing this man. And for a lot of people, for any almost sane person, the kind of knee-jerk reaction is to punish these people immediately and like quarantine them from society, basically. Make sure that they can't spread their nonsense to anyone or anything else in any way, ever. And that, as it ends up, might not be the best. I don't remember the exact... I'm not going to remember the exact example, the story, the book I think he was talking about, or the people. But there was a... Oh, I wish I remembered the story better. I'm not going to start talking about a story I can't remember. But I will say that while it is almost instinct to respond to violence and hate with more of the same, oftentimes what needs to be addressed more is why these kids are that way. Like, why do they think these things? And do they, not so much do they need to be corrected, but if they can be corrected and how. And especially Sarah Silverman was really bringing this point home with that, is that a lot of times these racists, these people who hate for apparently no reason, they have never had weird noises coming from things over here. That's creepy. Like, they've never had like a Hispanic friend, and when something becomes impersonal, this one was turned out to eat. When you don't see people as people, meaning you don't know them, you've never interacted with them, it's easy to kind of get that way. Like, see them as... What's that? Oh, it's weed. Ugh. To treat them as less than human when you don't know them. You don't know what they go through, you don't know them personally. And what they were talking about in their podcast a lot was basically as counterintuitive as it is, I was saying, a lot of times what these guys need is a friend. Just because they've almost definitely never had it. And they even gave some examples. It's like, this is what I was saying, that there were stories involved that I can't remember the exact details of. But they did give examples of where this has worked. Like with KKK members and like Nazis and stuff, white nationalists, and I have to say that is more of the case. It is very easy to generalize negative stereotypes and hate people when you don't know anything actually about them. You've never met them, you don't know them. It's just easier. I'm trying to think of where to follow with this without like bragging. And you wouldn't think of it, but I mean, you hear Texas and you automatically assume redneck morons, basically. And what the case ended up for me, like being in childhood, how I grew up, where I grew up, I did grow up, at least for most of the years that I can remember, in a primarily white neighborhood. My dad had gotten injured at his job as a steel fabrication foreman. He was like a welding foreman, basically. And he got injured doing that and had a very large settlement because he hurt his back. And he used, I'm pretty sure all of it, if not at least most of it, as either the down payment, or I think he might have bought that house outright. I'm pretty sure he did. But yeah, he used that money to move us into a fancy neighborhood that may or may not have been the best. Luckily, where I actually ended up going to school was a little bit farther away, and it was a bit more diverse. And that's the thing. That's the point I'm trying to make here, is that diversity at a young age is what I can say is crucial to, development in a way that isn't negative in later in life. Like, oh god. Like, I could have very easily... Oh, thank you. Okay. I wonder if it's spiders. I don't know what it is. Let me take care of this. This will probably be the end of the episode right here. I'm going to record a second one right after this, just because it's a full-size spider spawner. That's kind of rare. Let's see what's in the chests. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Crap, this crap. But yeah, diversity is key in early life for development, so that these other cultures and people become normal to you. So you see them as people instead of a cliche or a stereotype to be made fun of, picked on, taken advantage of, however you want to put it. And some of this I can say as somebody of color who grew up, not so much with the racism, because San Antonio is very, very much majority Hispanic. And I look Hispanic, so I mean, I'm just a normal person there. But also in the point of, I've also moved around a lot to places where I am very much the minority, especially in the past few years, with having been homeless and stuff. And even then, I can honestly say a little bit more about it from an educator point of view, from having worked with just school-age children and intellectually challenged adults, mentally challenged people, and it just comes down to experience. The more you see people as people, the less you're gonna have problems. I gotta find my way out of here. But that'll do it for the episode. I don't want to go on for... It's already about a half hour, but I don't want to go on too much longer like I have the past couple times. The hell do I get out of here? I'll figure out my way out, and I will see you guys very shortly when I record the second episode here in a second. It won't come out for a few days to space them out a little bit, but I'm going to record this one. It's bad. Right away. So, that'll do it for today. Thank you guys for watching. My name is JP, and I will see you next time.